July 14th through the 21st, we did 73 orders for $2,867. And before we get started on what's sold, I'm just gonna pull a few orders out of the bins for packing. And I'm gonna talk about something that I think is gonna be really important in the next couple of months. We sold a vintage knitting needle set with a case. This is something we got from a yard sale. I think I got it for $7. We sold it for $38. Coming up in the next couple months, we're going to be highly susceptible to being distracted by what's going on with politics. When I was working a desk job as a software developer, I noticed that myself and other devs at the companies, we would get easily distracted, especially in the Slack channels. There'd be like their own Slack channel where we would talk politics and everything that was going on. And productivity basically took a huge amount, at least a 30%. I mean, it's hard to calculate, but it was a huge productivity decline. Next item is a pair of blue wide leg flare jeans for $17.99, $09.71. It's going to be really difficult for our businesses to grow in this environment if we're trying to, 0971, pay attention to what's going on with politics, especially if we're sitting at a computer. If we're doing all of the listing and we're not outsourcing and we're just sitting at a computer all day, it's going to be really hard to combat the messages that we're getting from friends on Facebook Messenger and our text messages. Oh, did you see this tweet? Did you see this post? And I think that really the next 6 months, as silly as it sounds, this is going to be the struggle. We have too much to consume, too much media to consume, and we just got to make sure to indulge with, make sure I'm not against consuming this stuff, but just make sure that you're not overdoing it from day to day. Because I've seen it myself have that problem in the past. I feel like I'm kind of past that now because I spend a lot of time away from computers and so I'm not just inundated with notifications all day long. But Chris, let's see, we got a doorbin for a fridge, Chris too. But just remember that all of these platforms are going to be competing for our attention coming up in the next couple months. And the business owners that focus just on getting work done and getting what needs to get done, and making sure that you're not spending hours watching a bunch of political commentary while everyone else continues to work, you're going to get behind. And so that's kind of my recommendation, is not to overdo it. I know I'm going to struggle with this myself, so I feel like I'm kind of making this video for myself to just go back to. Hopefully this will all be over in the next, by next year we'll be all past this. One thing to remember is to not let your emotions get too involved in who wins or who loses this, because this too shall pass, is kind of as the saying goes. Look, whether or not your life is going to be better in 4 years, in 3 years, is 99.99% up to you. It's not going to be dependent on who wins. If Trump wins, I'm going to do well. If Kamala wins, I'm going to do just as well. Let's get into what's sold. If you haven't seen the last picker video I uploaded, it's actually a really good one. This guy had a huge train collection down in his basement, and this is just a preview of it, but go ahead and check it out. I'll link to it. How do I do this? I'll link to it up there, up top, and then down in the description. Also, please like this video if you like it. It's really helpful for me and the channel. All right, so it was 73 orders for $2,867. First item that we had was this Patagonia parka for $289. That was a good start. Next, we have this Nintendo 2DS for $149. This vintage Patagonia jacket, I believe I got this for $3. It was either $2 or $3 at a yard sale, and it was sold for $50. The North Face duck boots sold for $59.99. These were $5 as well, either 5 or 10. It's getting harder to remember. These Dainty Jewels dress was $50. That was $1. Bad Kitty Pole Fit Pole Dance Bra sold for $27.99. This was $1. This GE refrigerator ice bucket was $39.99. This was free from a fridge pickup. This electric beach swimsuit was $24.99. This genuine shark. This is another shark part from one of those robots vacuums. That sold for $29.99. So I don't know if you saw the last video, but I parted out like 5 different parts from it. I got it originally for $8, and each part sold for around $30. This Coleman quick pump sold for $14.99. That was $1. This refrigerator door handle mount screw was $5.99. That was another free one. This Lululemon multi-wear scarf was $24.99. That was $1. This Imperial Dragon, this Digimon card sold for $17.99. And that came in a set of Digimon cards. It was like $5 for a whole box, and we've sold a lot of them. So we're probably in like 20 cents on this card. Winter Hawk synthetic leather large black gloves sold for $12.99. Vintage Royal Hager black cat figurine ashtray. Oh, ashtray. Interesting. That might be a typo. That sold for $21.99. The HP Office Jet printer part. This is just the tray for the paper. Parted out that printer as well. This sold for $19.99. Sometimes it makes sense to part out printers instead of selling the printers because they're just too much to ship because they're big and bulky. This Coco and Maine tank dress, extra large, sold for $15.99. Venus Strappy Cage back jersey stretch maxi dress, lemon sunshine, sold for $15. Most our clothes is 50 cents to $1. A vintage Switzerland brass color cowboy cowbell hanging strap sold for $11.99. This freezer door bin shelf rail sold for $10. American Road Race Specials. This is just a book. This sold for $21.99. This Ariel the Little Mermaid Sega Genesis game was $1. Sold for $11.99. Women's black cable knit dress sold for $18.99. That was bought for 50 cents. Waste Management Baxter sold for $20. LED light strips sold for $69.99. The Beatles Real Music vinyl sold for $19.99. Saya Every Day is Christmas vinyl, $18.99. Set of 2 underwater kinetics hangers. We got these with the wetsuits. We sold the wetsuits, but we sold the hangers as well for $14.99. We 3 collection doll wig sold for $12.99. Emery Park True Wrap maxi dress, $19.99. Icy Zone blue short sleeve performance t-shirt, $16.99. A lot of 7 Sony PlayStation 4 PS4 games sold for, I think this went for $29.99. Now these, when I buy games at yard sales, I'll typically just buy them for $1 a piece. So if there's 7 games, I paid most likely $7. Anything more than $1 a piece, then I have to get into researching them. And I'd rather just say, hey, you got 10 games here, you got 20 games here, I'll give you $20 for it. And then if they end up not being worth a lot individually, then they're worth a lot as a lot. So these cost us $8, so made $30 with them. So they cost us $8, we sold them for $30. You usually can't go wrong. And I really don't have time to look up every single game, because I'm not just a game reseller, so I'm not even worried about memorizing all of the games that are worth money, because new games come out, new systems come out, and I just don't have that kind of space in my head. Icy Zone purple short sleeve t-shirt, $16.99. 1998 Lee Middleton baby girl doll, $29.99. This was $1. Fifth in Love women's black paisley v-neck, $17.99. 50 cents on that one. North Face sold for $14.99. I actually think I paid $3, anywhere between $3 and $5 for this, and I was surprised that it only sold for $14.99. That was a bit of a letdown for a North Face hoodie, but it is what it is. Fulton bag wide mouth cooler sold for $39.99. That I believe was $2. And if you watch my yard sale videos and I get any of these wrong, because you saw how much I purchased them for, the offers that I made, you can go ahead and correct me in the comments below. That's fine. I know. I try and remember these as much as I can. It's usually easy to remember things visually, but I know that I'm probably wrong on a few of these. 1826 jeans plus size sold for $21.99. 50 cents on those. Refrigerator wire shelf sold for $17.99. That was another free item. These Isaac Mizraha black sequin mesh round placement set of 6. Sometimes the title's so long it's like a tongue twister. These were $15.99. GE freezer basket slide rails, $14.99. Another free item. Teva original sandals, 90s multicolor women's size 8, $16.99. There's Casio G-Shock. This one sold for $79.99. And we got this for, I believe, $3 or $5. So that was a good find there. Bath and Body Works sold for $14.99. We got a bunch of these in like a bin, probably, like 60 of them. And then we just lotted them up in like 3 or 4 for like together, and then we sold them as lots because they're not worth enough individually. Men's Express black jacket sold for $32.50. Touch sweat top blue jersey sold for $15.99. 2 of these refrigerator door bins, I think they went for $23 or $24.99. Lot of Bay City Rollers vinyl LP records for $14.99. Vans men's flat front hybrid shorts. These went for $18.99. Vintage Harley Davidson shirt sold for $19.99. I think that was $1 on that one. Lululemon tank top open back sold for $19.99. That's a good one. There's Yamaha navy blue hard case for the violin sold for $39.99. That was $5. Hunter's Edge Dove Feeding Frenzy Dove decoys. This sold for $59.99. And I believe I bought these because I got like 8 of these boxes. My mom did from a yard sale. And I think we paid, I want to say 15 or 20 a box. It might have been 20 a box. So not 3X, it's good. Made $40. So I'm happy. Elite tennis racket sold for $19.99. Callista cream elastic waist skirt sold for $14.99. Dan Skin Now Red running shorts, $13.99. We have more of those. We got a bunch of them. I'm happy that we finally sold one because I think that's the first one we've sold. And we've had them up for several months. Skull Kitties tank top sold for $12.50. Ariat pink camo hat. This I got for $1. That sold for $11.99. Travis Matthew shorts, size 36, $19.99. Those were $1. This door bin sold for $9.99. It was listed for a long time. I can tell based on the background. That's why I took $9.99 when they offered it, because I'm just trying to get rid of those at this point. Roundtree and York gold label button down shirt for $15. 50 cents on that one. Tasco spotting scope, $34.99. That's good. I'm glad that sold. I don't remember how much I paid for that one, unfortunately. Kenmore ice bucket, another free item. This sold for $39.99. J. Crew broken in t-shirt, size extra large, $15.99. Led Zeppelin United States of America 1977 t-shirt, $14.99. Men's adjustable slide slippers, $19.99. That's awesome that those actually sold for that much. It's great. Whirlpool refrigerator lower freezer glass shelf, $44.99. Corningware 4-quart Dutch oven, $39.99. That was $1. I think it was $2 actually. Anthropologie Sunrise Paisley floral tassel. We had these for a while. I'm glad to see that they sold for $40. LA Colors strobing illuminating powder sold for $9.99. These Champion Meloso Rally Pro men's shoes sold for $29.99. Freezer basket slide rails, right and left, $14.99. And finally, we have this Sourpuss Tentacles dolly dress for $35.99. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do that. If you haven't liked the video yet, please do that as well. I really appreciate it. And we will see you in the next one. Peace.